This is Investigative Services Government and Civil Job Vacancy of 2026. The Australian Security Academy, Registered Training Organisation 30547, since 2001 and now in its 25th year of teaching and assessing investigations, is seeking a specialist RTO assessor for civil, government and fraud investigations. The Australian Security Academy is a respected, compliance-focused, registered training organisation committed to professionalising the investigative and compliance sectors. We deliver nationally recognised training to professionals working across civil insurance investigation agencies, government regulators and departments in workers' compensation and fraud control, as well as regulatory compliance. We champion high compliance standards and foster a supportive and professional remote team environment. The proof of that is in the support from the government and private sectors and civil investigation sectors in Australia. This is a part-time specialist role for a registered training organisation assessor. You do not have to do any teaching. You are just simply assessing returned assessments. We are seeking an experienced and highly motivated assessor to join our team on a 6-month, 3-day-per-week contract with the possibility of extension. This critical role is perfect for a professional seeking a flexible part-time commitment. Your primary focus will be on remotely assessing student submissions for Certificate 3 and Certificate 4 qualifications in government and investigative services. This is more than just an assessment. You'll play a vital role in capability development by providing supportive, constructive and compliant feedback that ensures learner success and RTO integrity. When you mark a student as competent in that assessment, it means that they can do it to the standard required in the workplace. Prior experience in investigative services or related fields is an essential requirement for this position. So what will you be doing? You'll be providing assessment and feedback. You'll conduct timely and compliant assessment on nationally recognised training, provide detailed, supportive and corrective feedback on student submissions. So if the student hasn't hit the mark, you're going to guide them as to how they can do it. You'll maintain meticulous compliant training and assessment documentation in line with RTO requirements and the Vocational Education and Training Quality Framework. You'll actively participate in assessment validation, design and review processes on a weekly basis. You'll represent the Australian Security Academy professionally and champion a culture of compliance and learner success within the industry. It is absolutely essential that you have the following qualifications: a current TAE 40116 or TAE 40112 Certificate 4 in Training and Assessment. That's not negotiable. You must have that. You must have a Certificate 3 in Investigative Services, CPP 30619, and you must also have a current private investigator licence in Victoria and or New South Wales. A minimum of 3 years extensive experience providing compliant assessment and constructive feedback within an RTO environment is required. What also will be advantageous for you if you have experience in VET, student management systems like VETRAC and learning management systems such as Moodle. You'll have demonstrated assessment validation and RTO audit experience. You must have maintained your continuous professional development currency in vocational education and training. If you are a professional, highly reliable and compliance-driven assessor with the required industry expertise and looking for a flexible part-time contract, we encourage you to apply. It's been offered at $70 per hour on a 6-month contract. You can work from anywhere in Australia that has internet access.
The Australian Security Academy acknowledges the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognises the continuing connection to lands, waters and communities. We pay our respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures and to elders past and present. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples should be aware that this series of live streams contains images or names of people who have passed away.
Casey, welcome along. Investigators, welcome to episode 346 of Spy Curious, the only weekly news program for licensed, corporate and government investigators in Australia. You're watching episode 346. How are you, Casey?
I am wonderful. Thanks, Mike.
That's good. Greg's checking in to say hello. G'day, Greg. Great to see you, mate. Hey Long, how you going, buddy? Hey Long just won one of these today, Casey.
Oh, coffee mugs.
Yeah, so he'll be the proud owner of that this time next week. Congratulations, mate. Judith, great to see you. Thanks for saying hello. Always great to see we've got people watching. You had a busy week, Case?
Very busy. I was actually working until midnight last night, so...
So it's not slowing down for Christmas in the investigation industry.
No, unfortunately not. And yeah, this just seems to be one of the busy times too, especially for skip races. I feel like this is the time where people, Merry Christmas to you as well, people, it's that time for reflection on family and how you're doing. And a lot of people actually like to find their family. They may be estranged from parents, siblings. So doing a lot of that work around this time of year is just such a big thing. So
yeah, it never changes. It's always the same.
Yeah.
So people, what's been happening in the news this week? When you're an investigator and you do motor vehicle accident investigations, this one happened in Casey, my nearby suburb of Logan this week. 5 teens were seriously injured in a horror ute rollover in Logan. So what's the big deal about that? We've got 5 young people, teenagers, who have been injured, 2 quite seriously, including the driver. It is a single motor vehicle accident. That's what it is. Now, a single motor vehicle accident means, yes, you've got 6 witnesses who all know they are in trouble. Now, being teenagers, a lot of them are going to have their parents present when you interview them about that accident, because there's going to be a CTP liability claim in relation to it. Who gave permission to the P-plate driver or the driver of that vehicle? Who owned the vehicle? Who was driving at the time? Now, they've said the driver was sent to hospital, but was that person driving? How do they know? These are the difficulties that police encounter every day. But as an investigator doing motor vehicle accident investigations for insurance and CTP liability, it's one of the more challenging investigations that you will do, because you know straight up, to protect themselves, 6 people are going to lie to you. The key to that, people, is in our first presentation in Investigations Uni. It is so important. It's the #1 investigation. And if you're an Australian Security Academy student and you have access to Investigations Uni and you haven't seen #1 episode, email me and I'll provide it for you. Okay, so that's really important. So we trust you're preparing for a great Christmas, everybody. It's tragic news about those 6 people. Today, in this episode, I'm going to road test the Ray-Ban Meta Wayfarer sunglasses for investigators. So you can see all about that. I'll go through my road test for that. And I've got other news that's happening around the place. This was really important one. I found this was actually quite good. Down in New South Wales, the Security Licensing Enforcement Division have been checking through historical applications in security licensing for mutual recognition. So people who have gained a license in the ACT and then applied through mutual recognition for a licence in New South Wales. And they have found that several of them were fraudulent. The people never actually had the licence in the ACT, but were granted mutual recognition in New South Wales, and it's since been withdrawn. And if you're on Facebook, do a search for Cameron Smith, who's in charge of the Security Licensing Enforcement Division down there. And in one of the cases, the security guard actually took them on. If you get a negative decision from any licensing authority, you can appeal it. Now, in most cases, a negative decision is automatic. It's all AI driven today. It's got no human oversight. So you put on your application that you've had a conviction, they just automatically send you a disqualification letter, you're not getting a license. But down as you read it, it says, and your appeal rights are this, and this, if you're not satisfied with our decision. And that means you'll go to the New South Wales Civil and Administrative Appeal Tribunal, NCAT. Now, Victoria have the Victorian Civil and Administrative Appeals Tribunal, VCAT. And Tasmania has the Tasmanian Civil and TCAT. I won't go on Western Australia and South Australia, okay, but you've got the message. So this person who was aggrieved by this, he took them on. And the matter went to VCAT, and you can look it up and you can see it. And it goes through how the Civil and Administrative Tribunal heard his case, what decision they made in relation to it, and why. And they spelt it out. And it gives you an actual history of how he didn't get his license, how he was advised, how he paid $2,500 through a network of crooks to get that license to apply for mutual recognition with, why they denied his appeal, and why they made him pay his own and SLED's costs is all in there. So it's a really interesting read. If security companies are taking on people with licenses, they must check if those licenses are genuine right from the beginning. It falls onto the security company. So SLED having much success with reviews of 2023 are now reviewing 2024. And this is a theme now across regulators around Australia. Half the Australian Security Academy students are studying certificate for or diploma or advanced diploma in government, regulatory compliance, investigations or fraud control. And they will go on in their careers to do these types of checks as we just saw SLED doing there. It's regulatory compliance enforcement. The regulator for licence investigation training, ASQA, cancelled 30,000 qualifications issued through RPL in 2024. They are checking qualifications as the regulator, like SLED, are doing mutual recognition, and it's happening at unprecedented levels in Australia. Previously, SLED or ASQA would say, oh, we haven't got the funding, we haven't got the personnel. We'll get round to that, next time we get funding in 20 years. Well, now they've got funding and they're checking these things. So in the investigation industry, the security industry, from training to mutual recognition, the regulators are doing their job, and I'm pleased to see it. That's a really great thing. If you missed it over Investigations Uni today, Andrew Baldock and I presented on issues around workers' compensation. So that's what the presentation we had was on about today. But today, as something different, I'm going to road test for you our Ray-Ban Meta Wayfarer glasses. Now, these basically have internet connectivity. When you buy them, they come in this sunglasses packet, and it's got a little glowing ring on it that means it's fully charged. You keep the sunglasses in that protective case and they charge inside of that. and you have a USB connection that doesn't come with it, but you just plug it in, and that's how you charge them up. When you buy them from the shop, they're about 70% charged, and you can use them straight away. Here they are sitting inside that case, and they're charging as you look at it. So what's the big deal with it? Well, you can get your own glasses put into the frames. So they send them along to the optometrist, smash what you bought at the shop, and you can put in your glasses. So that's really handy. So we took them out and we gave them a bit of a road test around my local area. So let's see what they did. So here I am. I've got my Ray-Ban Wayfarer sunglasses on, and I found myself some suspicious wildlife. The big one in the centre has a joey in its pouch, but I can't zoom in on it with my Ray-Ban sunglasses. There's no zoom in feature. So, okay, I got some bouncing kangaroos, but I'm disappointed from the point of view that I couldn't zoom in. I would have had to walk closer and risk being attacked by a joey from a pouch. So I wasn't going to do that, all right? So what else is about it? Let's have a look at some of the other things. What have I got here? I'll answer your question in 1 second. So here I am in the supermarket. All right, I'm not on surveillance, but I'm testing them out to see if they work in the supermarket. And I was quite impressed. In the supermarket, good light conditions. I mean, I can stop this video, enlarge it, and read some of those signs. So I'm going to have no problem identifying a subject if I'm wearing these and I'm in the supermarket. So, you know, I'm just wandering around, looking at it, testing it out to see if it works. Here I am again in the supermarket, just giving you an idea of this is near better lighting, but still it gives you a good idea that these things actually do work. So when would you use these glasses as they would stand out if you do surveillance on foot? Yes, they stand out immensely, because what they do is basically they flash up here that they're recording. So this is what it looks like, all right? If you're elderly and you can't remember if you told your glasses to take video or a picture, and you want to know if they're taking video, you go to a shop window or a car that's got tinted windows like my surveillance ute, and this is how you find out if they're working or not. So as you can see there, it's bleeding obvious, that blinking light, that you are taking video. And when you take a single image, that light flashes too. So you're giving away the fact that you are doing surveillance if you're using these. You can still use them if it's the only thing you've got, and you can't go like that to cover up the light, because you just covered up the lens of the camera. Okay, but let's have a look at it when you're driving. So we'll see if it has any decent sort of video from when you're driving. Hang on, what have I got here? Got to have a driving video somewhere. Okay, Casey's used to this. This is my local security company where I live. They have a security building on a roundabout. So if you want to go hooning and record your hooning and put it on Facebook or social media, you can do that with these glasses. And no one at security knew that I was recording them as they were lazily having afternoon tea. All right. But you can record them you can use them to record when you're driving. Thanks, Greg.
Exactly how the Hilux.
Don't try that at home, people. Okay. It's a little bit dangerous where there's a lot of elderly people and pensioners wandering around. The problem with these is, like I said, with the joey in the pouch, is distance. So here's Casey's mum, and she's riding her horse, and she's 200 metres away. Look how long it takes to come into focus. So from a distance of 200 metres, it can hardly be seen. And I cannot zoom in using these glasses. We're down to 100 metres, still very difficult to see. Okay, but as we get closer and closer, it's pretty good image quality, all right? So the image quality of these things is quite good. So if you're not afraid to take a risk and your battery's flat on your phone or on your camera and you got to get close up, you could use these, but I would recommend that you jump on the Spy Shop or similar and buy other ones that don't have the flashing light. When video cameras first came out, one of the big issues when we switched from 35mm film to video cameras was there was always a light on when you were recording. And back in those days, we could just put black tape over the lens and that would stop that giveaway that the person could be being recorded. But you can't do that with these, because as soon as you do that, you cover up the lens because it's flashing around that. I found that they stay charged for a very long time. I couldn't wear out the battery. Okay, and if I need them, I can use them to take still photos. I've got them connected to the internet where I can make phone calls, and I can ask questions like you do on ChatGPT and get instant answers. So I tested it out by asking it what the capital of Tasmania was, and they told me it was Hobart. And so I went more difficult and asked it about the capital of Victoria, and I was told it was Melbourne. So all that's coming instantly through your glasses, and you use voice commands to control the video and the photo taking. So if you're serving a summons or something like that and you can't hold something in your hand, you'd probably get away with this, but you might piss the person off. Yeah, use them in the vehicle. They're really good. Look, in the vehicle, they're just great. And the problem with dash cams, you can only look forward or backwards, or you can try and adjust it with the dash cam. But with these, you just turn and you can look to the right or the left of you. And that's a really great use for them should you need that capacity. I tested it out with still photos, which I don't think I put on here, but you know, the still photos, I could take photos of traffic in front of me and I could zoom in on the make and model of the vehicle and on the registration of the vehicle. So all up, they're not a bad little tool. You're going to get them for around about $650 full price on the internet or most sunglasses shops. If you have a need to, you know, take video or photos close up, you could use them in scene inspections, and I'm sure that you could record your voice going through that scene inspection. And there are versions of these that people can actually live stream from, so it's quite a handy little tool. I think it'll only get better and better. I think 10 years ago we had Google Glasses came out and it was a dramatic failure. Right? So the technology has come a long way. From what I'm seeing in the groups that are talking about it that I joined to see, you know, what it was like, they're saying that the battery runs down after about a year. So $650, you know, for a lot of charging and a worn out battery is a pretty high price. I don't doubt they'll come down in the future, but look, have a look at what's on the internet, Google it, and you'll find something without that giveaway flashing light. But what I do like about mine, and I've got them here and you can see them, is basically they look like reading glasses. They don't look like sinister sunglasses, but when I do go out in the sun, they do turn black outside in the sun. But as far as a road test, handy little tool. Good there, Casey. That's fantastic. Sinister. Casey being sinister.
That they can take video.
Yeah. So, and you can't be up close to someone and say, "Hey, Meta, take video." It's going to sound really bad.
I love the idea that they can be used as PPE for process servers, and even if you are someone that's going and doing door knocks, I think that's such a fantastic, because PPE years ago, we had, I don't remember her name, Mike, but she was a process server. She came and taught for us a number of times, and she's this teeny tiny little lady, but you wouldn't mess with her because she just had that. She was really strong, and she was using cameras on her body as personal protection for many, many years before it even really became a big thing. And I just think that this is really, really important. And doing pre-surveillance work, if you're going down a one-way street and you've got to get out on foot, I've got a watch that I used to use when I was on foot, and if I had to walk up a cul-de-sac and walk back, I would just go in my exercise gear and walk quickly as if I was just just a woman on the street exercising. And using those glasses, I know that there is a light, but at the same time, they're not as intrusive as you think that light would be. And not many people are actually expecting you to be wearing them. And I know that Alex has road tested his a lot, and he's been wearing them lots of times when I'm with him, and I just didn't even notice. And then he's like, look at you doing that. It's like, thanks. So yeah,
look, yeah. I'm sure that they are right onto this at Wet and Wild, and in every swimming pool all around the country, they would be right onto it. So don't use them in those sorts of situations, because I reckon before they hit the internet, they would have been checking on that and looking for people doing that. So, but it's a useful tool. If you want to have a play with something, it's good fun. I really enjoyed it. I'll be using them more often, and I think I will be using them quite a bit, particularly for driving and for follows and stuff like that. So I quite enjoyed it. Downside, the light and no ability to zoom in, but you've got a video camera, you've got a phone that can zoom in for miles today. So, in terms of that, what you miss out, you've got other tools that are lightweight, easy to carry. And this one, the charging and the lifetime of the battery was very good. So if your battery runs out on the others, you've got this as backup too. And you'll look intellectual. Okay, which is really, really important. And like I say, don't forget, the optometrist, they will basically smash out the lenses in there and put in, what you require for yours, should you require that. What have you got for us today, Case?
My OSINT tip is something, I don't think I've shared it on Spy Curious before. I know it's part of when I teach. And for those of you who do desktop investigations or have to take screenshots of things online, if you are taking screenshots and scrolling down and another screenshot and scrolling down, taking another screenshot, this tip is going to make you very happy, because there will be no more stitching screenshots together with this. I'm just going to share my screen, so I'll share it live. Oh, no, that's Leave Studio. Probably shouldn't click that button. Speaking of glasses, I don't know where mine are. Share screen. Chrome tab. Time screen, this one. Okay, there we go. Hopefully, yep. Okay, so say that your person of interest has hit the news, and this is just news.com.au. This is the actual website. I've just clicked into this news article about Shirley from Garbage upset a bunch of people in Melbourne and now has caused a beach ball revolution. Say I wanted to put this news article as part of my report. So back in the day, I used to screenshot, scroll down, screenshot, and then stitch them together in a document and export it as a PDF. Lots of mucking around, really annoying. And then someone put me onto what's called is Fireshot. And this is one of my favorite tools. So you just install it in your Chrome web browser. I use Chrome for all of my investigations in my virtual machine because it's super easy when it comes to plugins. It can go anywhere. I'm in a virtual machine. I'm not logged in under anything that can remotely come back to me. So it's enough privacy for what I do. So I'm pretty sure it's on Firefox as well. So pretty sure it's across whatever browser you use. And if you just use, I can talk about that later. But so I will show you how this works. So we've got the whole big article here. And then you go to your plugins, you go take screenshot, and I would like to capture the entire page. So you click on that. And as you can see, there's the little bar there, which is, it's just scrolling through by itself. I'm not doing anything. And once that's done, it opens up in a new tab, and you can see here that it's all here nicely. So that's the whole page right there, even down to the 6 years of bad ads. So then you just click on Save to PDF. And I've already saved it. So, and you can just open it, like this is it here. So it's just a nice, tidy PDF, which you can put in as an appendix into your report. And I just find it so much easier. You can use it on social media. You can use it on any web page that you're looking at. So yeah, no more screenshotting and stitching together. So hopefully that was helpful.
What an amazing tip. That's absolutely brilliant, Casey. That's fantastic. I've been looking for one of those for years. I was going to say that. That is absolutely brilliant. Fantastic. Thanks for sharing that. Really pleased with that one. I'll be replaying this. Anything you enjoyed in this, like my amazing driving around the security at Sanctuary Cove, you can replay on demand. Just click it again and send a copy of that into the police, and the police will go, hang on, I think this is sped up. Wait a minute, I think this is 6 videos joined together that are the same. So be very careful about what you see. But this week, between Casey and I, where we live at Runaway Bay, a house had several shots fired into it. This was on Wednesday. And on Wednesday, I was driving along without my recording glasses on, and I was driving past a dog park, and I saw a police car and a police motorbike parked in the shade underneath a tree. That's all I saw. I thought, that's unusual. Good on you, Bonnie. Very much so. So anyway, I saw this police car and this motorbike parked under a tree at a dog park car park. And I thought, that's an unusual place to stop and have a thermos and a cup of tea, but it's clever that they, put their safety and parked in the shade. What I didn't realise that the car used in that shooting, just 5 metres away from where they were, was burnt out that night at 3 a.m. And they were there inspecting the burnt out car that did that shooting. So I missed that part because it wasn't burning at that stage. The fire brigade had been there to put it all out. But it was just interesting to see that. And it's in an area where that was burnt out, where there are a lot of stolen motor vehicles. So that's quite strange sort of thing that happened to me this week. This one came up in my email again today. If you're running a business, investigation business, security business, knitting business, budgerigar breeding business, and you get one of these, it is a scam.
It's a scam. It's a scam. And I refuse to be scammed.
Get it on, bang a gong, get it on. Get it on, bang a gong, get it on. When you're building up and call, you got a hubcap, diamond star halo. If you like a car, oh yeah.
Sorry, it's a scam. Sorry, it's a scam.
So if you get an email from CopyTrack saying that on your Australian Security Academy website, you have used a photo violating the intellectual property of their client, it's a scam. They will say, if you send us £359, straight away, right, this problem will go away. And the scam is all AI generated. It's scanning the internet for any picture anywhere and just sending out hundreds of thousands of demands every minute all around the world. Now, they're based in Germany, and the scammer used to be called Marcus Schmidt. He's now changed his name to Michael Schmidt.
Right.
So he's got the usual full blast response from me saying that I will expose his scam everywhere, blah, blah, blah. And you can Google CopyTrack, the CopyTrack scam, and you can see lawyers and their blog posts about how they have been attempted to be scammed by Marcus, aka Michael, at CopyTrack. And I haven't had one of these for probably 4 years, I don't think. I used to get them quite regularly. So he laid low, right? He hasn't done his research, and he is demanding money for something that never happened. We do not take photos randomly off the internet and put them up. We don't do that. Okay. When we put them on our website, we make sure that we own that. We have purchased it from appropriate providers. They don't care at CopyTrack. They're just sending them out AI generated by the thousand. Okay. Do not, under any circumstances, pay them any money. Do not negotiate with them. Just delete it. Right now, if you look at the lawyers' blogs on advice on what to do in Germany, where CopyTrack is situated, they advise you under German law what to do. German law has got nothing to do with the law here in Australia. They can't touch you, even if you did violate copyright, even if they did have a client that said it, right? They can't. It's a scam. They don't have that client. They have made it up to see if you will sucker for it. And it's a numbers game. If 2,000 people sucker for that today, they earn 2,000 times £359 for doing nothing. For nobody. None of that. Yeah, none of that money goes to the person who took the photo, because Marcus, aka Michael Schmidt, is a scammer. And the best scams are the simplest scams. And the longevity scams are the simplest. It looks very threatening. It looks extremely legal. And it sounds like they represent the person who took the photo and owns the copyright. They don't. All right. So if it says CopyTrack, do not pay it. That is really, really important. You don't sucker for that and make the scammers proliferate. Okay, that is a very important thing. You have been watching episode 346 of Spy Curious. If you are seeking a job as an investigator assessor, get in touch with us at the Australian Security Academy by applying through Seek, a 3-day-a-week assessment role. You'll be working with Casey. You'll be working with Pat. You'll be working with me, okay? And you will be assessing Certificate 4 in Government Investigations and Certificate 3 in Investigative Services. If you have to, you can wear Ray-Ban sunglasses while you're doing it. You will be ensuring that the future investigators in Australia have received appropriate feedback in regard to their correct assessments and guidance and feedback on what to do if their assessment is not yet competent as yet. You will read comments in social networking about industry experts everywhere. So many people do get sucked in by that one body. Well, it's an oldie and it's a beauty, and they'll keep doing it. You can work from anywhere in Australia and do this, okay? You'll be ensuring that the graduates in the future in investigations, private, government, and corporate are trained to the right standard. You will need experience with VetTrack, and you will need experience with Moodle. You do not have to do any training. You can work from home. You do not have to commute anywhere. You will not appear on video. That's really important. You'll be giving feedback to learners who will be conducting investigations in the future for organisations like ISG, who are all Australian Security Academy graduate students, for organisations such as Code 9 Processing, who are looking for process servers down in Victoria, for organisations such as Quantum Corp, who are currently looking for multiple surveillance investigators in Canberra, and for organisations like Lee Kelly and Lee Kelly Investigations, who have been around for 35 years and need licensed investigators. So this is an amazing opportunity. Also, among the amazing opportunities coming up in 2026, you'll meet Casey, Pat and myself at our Sydney Investigation Conference for Certificate 3 in Investigative Services on March 23rd to 25th in the, oh, it might be the 24th, I might have got that wrong. In
23rd and 24th.
23rd and 24th at the Fullerton in Sydney. So if you enrol and you're based in New South Wales, you can come along to that event. Okay, it's going to have OSINT tips in it. It's going to have how to take statements, how to conduct investigations, and you can take part in that program in March next year in Victoria. Our 21st and 25th anniversary live Melbourne conference will be in February on the 9th, 10th and 11th at the Mantra on Russell. Now, it's 3 days there and 2 days in Sydney. Victoria has different requirements for licensing. So we've got a 3-day event there. So put it in your calendar. If you enrol in the Australian Security Academy online course, you can come to this event at the Mantra, fully catered, morning, afternoon tea and lunch. Okay, all right. And you can come to that event on those days. If you missed it, just hit replay at any time and you can see what time it was on the Sydney. If you've graduated, you can talk to me and I can look at it and see what kind of numbers we've got and what I can accommodate, and I can hold you on a waiting list. I think that would be fair. Okay, so let me know.
Awesome.
Keep going, my word, keep going, keep watching Investigations Uni, keep going. So they're the live events that are coming up in New South Wales and Victoria early next year. I will be updating you on what will be happening in Queensland as well, because we have big demand in Queensland to fulfil for that sort of thing. So thanks for watching, people. Hope you've enjoyed it. Particularly, I enjoyed Casey's tip today. That was a pretty good one. Everybody is going to be using tonight. Okay, that's a Christmas present there from Casey for OC.
Yep. I'll find it.
Hope you enjoyed our road test and you have been watching this episode of Spy Curious with this information in it, and we will see you next week for episode 347 of Spy Curious, and we'll go out in our unusual way.
작전 종료. 전원 복귀할 것.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next week. Thanks, Casey.
See you next week.